now you've mastered the tools inside of Midjourney, it's time to start creating your favorite pieces of art. And that might involve using faces. Now, getting the best, most realistic faces out of Midjourney can be a challenge. But in this lesson, I'll show you a few tips and tricks to get the most authentic, realistic, and beautiful faces inside of Midjourney. So let's come into Midjourney and start off with a text prompt, something like a beautiful woman goddess cyberpunk. So here we have the first iteration of the woman. And we can see that some of these faces are better than others. It's done a pretty good job for an initial try here. Sometimes you get pretty disfigured creatures. This one, the third option, it has created a woman without a nose or mouth. So let's try to improve this a little bit. First, we're going to type in Imagine, and this time we're going to add an image as a part of the prompt too. So I found this image on Unsplash of this pretty lady here. And we're going to open that in a new tab and copy the image URL. Come back into Midjourney, paste that into our prompt, and now we'll go again with the same text prompt. And there we have it. This is with the image and the text prompt together. And we can see that the faces we're getting out are becoming more realistic. Now in this iteration, I suggest that you tell Midjourney that you want it to be symmetrical. So we're going to add in symmetrical face here. And the other trick that is useful is to up the stylization value. So to do that, we put in --s and increase the value. We're going to try something about 10,000. So it will stylize the face a little bit more. And so here we have what Midjourney has outputted with us adding in symmetrical face and raising the stylization value. You can see that the faces are becoming more realistic, but one caveat here is we've lost a little bit of the closeness to our original text prompt. Now, another trick that you can use if you don't like the faces that you've got is to ask Midjourney to re-roll the prompt, because if you keep re-rolling, the chances are that you will at some point get a realistic, attractive looking face. So I've re-rolled this version and we've got 4 more faces. Some are looking very beautiful, particularly like the third one here, so I'll upscale that. So I've upscaled one of the first images that we've done, and you can see that we have a pretty good portrait here, but some things are still lacking, like there is some odd textures inside of the nose, there is a problem with the symmetry, and the lips look a little bit misfigured. Apart from that, it is a pretty beautiful image. Now we compare that to the face that has a higher stylization value. And here we can see that aesthetically and realistically it is closer to that of a normal human face. But we have lost this cyberpunk style. Finally, we have this option, which was a re-roll from an earlier prompt. And as you can see that just by asking Midjourney to continuously generate new versions, we end up with a good face. So the other thing you can do is you can take your images and put them into Photoshop and use the tools like warp and bloat to really refine your image to what you are looking for. Now you may have noticed that after upscaling to the max, the highest resolution that you can get from an image is still only 1300 pixels. But I'm going to introduce you to another AI tool that you can use to increase the resolution of your artwork. And that is let'senhance.io. So you get a few free credits here. I've bought a huge pack of 300. So I can upscale a lot of different works. And then you can just drag your artwork into this tool. And what it will do is it will use artificial intelligence to increase the size of your image without losing any detail. So once you're ready to upscale it, you can come down to start processing. And by default, it doubles the size of your image. But you can adjust the settings in the panel here. You can go 4 times, 8 times, and 16. So this was our original image at 1024 by 1024. And here it is upscaled to twice the size using Let's Enhance. And as you can see, the lines are still super crisp. It's not pixelated at all. I'm viewing this at 100%. And let's zoom in so you can see some of the difference. So if we're zooming in here, we can start to see some of the degradation in the artwork. But here on the same level, you can see that it's still crisp and clean on the upscaled version. So this is a super useful tool to use with your AI art to upscale it. And that way you can really create artworks that you can print, that you can use on larger screens and in many other different use cases. So there are a few tips around getting faces inside of Midjourney. You need to remember to re-roll as much as possible. Use the stylization parameter to increase the amount of style. Make sure you're using an image inside of the prompt to give it a basis to work with. You can use the text prompt symmetrical face. That's a great trick. And finally, if you want to upscale and have larger resolution images, use let'senhance.io.